quote of the day is never apologize for having high standards. People who really want to be in your life will rise up to meet them. Don't lower your standards just because of somebody's feeble and fragile ego. Because once you lower your standards, then they're going to try to run over you. That's why I say keep your standards high, and those who want to be around you will rise up and meet those standards. The ones who don't rise up to you, that they want you to lower them because they can't reach you. That's one of the biggest issues that comes to mind. Hey, but let's dive into something that's a topic that's really been on me. You know, we got. I'm the type of person that we don't need validation or credit for anything that our group does. And it's not necessarily about what I do. It's not about what this person does. It's not about that person does. It's about what we do as as a unit, as a collective unit. What we do. The one thing that I've heard, and I have a lot of people that came to talk to me, and they said, "Hey, we enjoy your show and doing this." And I said, "Okay, thank you. We're going to keep doing it this way because we don't do individuality. We don't try to highlight this person. We don't do it. We're not going to do that." And then our group, Let's Talk 3, we have one mission, and that's to help those who need help, and we'll help as many as we can. November the 22nd, we're doing the Thanksgiving Give Back. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to feed 300 people, whether it's senior citizens, whether it's people low income, it does not matter. We're going to try to feed everybody. We try to feed as many as we can. We want the food to run out. That's what we want to do. But that's just for us to give back to the community, give back to those who paved the way for us, to give back and to show our gratitude for all the work that they have done, not necessarily the work we've done. Because without them paving the way, that would be no us. And I always say, we're going to give back to the ones who walked on dirt roads so we can walk on paved roads. And that's what we're going to continue doing, and that's what we're striving and thriving to do. But you know, people right now need help. They don't need talk. Because we got a lot of people running their mouth about this and that, but they're not putting up a finger to help anybody. And like I was talking to one of our members, if my lights are finna be cut off, I don't need your opinion. I don't need you to talk. What are you gonna do to try to help me? See, we're about helping. We're not interested in conversation. We're not interested in talking. And if you're not going to help anybody, talking ain't gonna do any good. What is talking gonna do? What, you gonna talk to the light company? You gonna talk to the water company? You gonna talk to the place that I got my rent, my house note? That's not gonna help anybody. So we decided that talking is not something that we are really, really great at doing as far as that. So we don't do talk. We do the work. And it's one of our quotes, we put words to action. Or put action to words. I think it's putting action to words. But that's what we gonna do. That's what our group stands for. And not only are we doing the Thanksgiving kickback, we also are going to help around December. We're going to go to a couple of homeless shelters, and we're going to provide some things that they may need. You know, the thing about the homeless, we're going to do homeless shelters, we do group homes. The thing about them is we take for granted some of the things that we have: soap, toothbrush, body wash, deodorant, stuff like that we might not think a lot of, but in those homes, that means a lot to them. And sometimes it means more than any gift you can bring, because they don't have that. Those homes are not financed. They're not supported a lot of times by the government. They're not supported by the city they live in. And we know how hard it is to get funding, because again, funding is like pulling tooth and nail, because everybody wants to preach about we all help but nobody picks up a finger to help. And that's one of the things that I come to find strange, that everybody talks about, well, we could do this, we could do that, but nobody does any of this stuff. So what are you just talking just to talk, just to make yourself feel better? Is that way? Because this thing about helping people, you never know if you're going to get in that same position at some point. And and let's just be honest. Most people are one check away. Let me phrase that. They one paycheck not getting away to being in these same positions. Being homeless, everybody thinks because you made bad decisions. That's not necessarily true. A lot of times it's because circumstances. You lost your job. You lost financial support. You lost a loved one. You lost this. And they was the financial head. And everybody want to say, well, you homeless by choice. I seriously doubt anybody's homeless by choice. Now, there are some who made decisions that probably put them in that position. But that don't mean you have to drag them, keep dragging on them because they made a bad decision. We all make bad decisions at some point in time or another. So some of them don't want to be there, but they don't get the proper help to try to move them, to get them out. You know, that was a thing that we wanted to start. We wanted to get funding from the state or the city, and we wanted to open up a house for, like, when people get out of jail, they can have somewhere to go. Those who want to, at least they'll have somewhere to go if they don't have family, and they can get a fresh start. The thing about people that comes out of prison or jail, they don't have anywhere to go, and a lot of times when you don't have anywhere to go, you have a tendency to fall back into the same situation you was in that got you into trouble in the first place. So a lot of these communities are doing this, and a lot of them aren't doing this. A lot of them aren't trying to help them. They're not trying to get them into the better spot. And you got the mayors, you got the governor, and they're more interested in big projects. They're not interested in the ones that help build this stuff. And that's something that we really wanted to focus on, to at least try to get, they call it a halfway house, and to help those get on their feet. And once they get on their feet and they get themselves established, they can go and get their own something. Then we can move somebody else in there. And that's just a project that we've been toying around with, and we're gonna keep pursuing this because I think it's worthwhile. Everybody deserves a second chance. The problem is nobody wants to give second chances. You only want to give a second chance when it's you who wants the second chance. Now you want to ask for it, that everybody deserves a second chance. But hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, it doesn't take long to go from the top to the bottom. But it takes a while to go from the bottom to the top. So before you judge somebody based on their circumstances, you need to find out the path they had to walk. Because everybody is not what they would say trying to be in the bad position they're in. Some of them have been put in these positions by circumstance. Hey, it happens. Natural disasters. Hey, sometimes it's devastating, and sometimes it's stuff you can't recover from. But we so quick to judge. Well, they just want to beg. Look, nobody wants to go out there and beg. Nobody wants to sit in the hot sun asking for something to eat. And I've seen some of our sons, they want to work. So, that's the kind of work that needs to be done. All that talking, all that yapping, all that this and that, all that foolishness. If you ain't helping anybody, then you're not doing nothing but wasting time. You gotta help people, because sooner or later everybody's going to need help eventually, and nobody's above getting help, and nobody's below deserving it. So it's just funny that when you see somebody out there homeless, sleeping on that, hey, Unless you live that, don't judge. Because it's not fun to be sleeping on the street. It's not fun to sleep on a bench. It's not fun to sleep in a homeless shelter. Ain't nothing fun about that. And these individuals do not want to be there, but who gives them an opportunity? Who helps them get on their feet? Who tries? And it's a lot of work to be done. And it's a lot of people who can do it, but there's a lot of people who won't do it. But they love to get up there and talk about doing it. They love to advertise what they can do. They love to say, well, I'm all about helping people. Well, if you're all about helping people, why aren't you doing it then? Why don't you come up with something that you can do to help those that are less fortunate than you? We can't do everything. We're not trying to do everything. We're just trying to do our part. But there's so many people out there that need help. Elderly people who's living paycheck. They get paid once a month, living paycheck to paycheck. And the worst thing in my mind that you can do is have to decide whether to pay your rent or eat. That is not the best decision to make. To keep your lights on. That's not the best decision to make. But you got all these cities, got all these projects going on. But ain't none of them geared up to help those that are in need. None of them have came to those communities and asked, what do you need? You know when they come? When they want to get elected. When they want to get re-elected, then they come. But beyond then, you never see them. So, to me, y'all are just hypocrites because y'all talk about it, but you're not being about it. And like I say, I just think that everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves a helping hand. Everybody deserves a chance or opportunity to get back on their feet. Now, whether they accept it or run with it, that's up to them. But they do deserve the opportunity, and that's what our group try to do. We try to help those who can't help themselves. We try to go to those places and do for people who really and truly need. And that's what we always done. Well, our group has not changed. Only thing we changed was the name. Our standards are still the same. Our goals are still the same. Our principles are still the same. We're here to help those as many as we can. But what everybody got to understand is, everybody, and I love, like I said, rest in peace, Joe Madison. I love Joe Madison. Everybody can do something. Nobody's asking you to give $50. Nobody's asking you $100. You know what? If enough people give $5, you know how much help you can give to an individual that doesn't have anything? If 100 people gave $1, it's $100. Wow. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to help. But it takes the willing, you got to be willing to want to help, number one. And that's something that we have not seen a lot of, and that's not just for us, it's for anybody. You know, $500 can help so many people in so many different ways. And all you need is 100 people giving $5. You spend $5 on junk food, you spend $5 on beer, you spend $5 on cigarettes. So why not put that money into doing something good? You know what they tell me? And I'm gonna end it with this. It does not matter how much money you got, what good are you doing with it? That's what I know. What good are you doing with the money? When you're not helping anybody, the money's not doing any good. But just as soon as you need help, then you'll kind of see exactly what everybody was talking about. Because now you need it. But then it's up to those who you looked over to help you. And it shouldn't be that way. We gotta help each other. And once you do that, man, it's unlimited what we can accomplish. But hey, that's just something that was on me to say, and that's something I wanted to say. All right, but hey, we'll be back next week, same time, same place on the Burnout. Remember, always flame up, never burn out. You eat a 2 fingers piece, and remember to hit that like and subscribe button. And leave us a comment. We'll get back to you.